European Central Bank cut interest rates for the seventh time this year to counter worries about economic growth fueled by geopolitical tensions.
Russia's Supreme Court has suspended its ban on the Taliban, paving the way for Moscow to normalize ties with Afghanistan's leadership. Astronomers have found possible chemical signs of life on a distant planet outside our solar system.
The European Central Bank cut interest rates for the seventh time this year to counter worries about economic growth fueled by geopolitical tensions. Citing Russia's invasion of Ukraine and conflict in the Middle East, the benchmark interest rate was cut by 1/4 of a point.
The major escalation in global trade tensions and associated uncertainties will likely lower euro area growth by dampening exports, and it may drag down investment and consumption.
The bank's decision comes as global trade tensions, driven by US President Donald Trump's tariff, pose a risk to Eurozone growth, outweighing concerns of an inflationary spike.
At least 4 people have died in a cable car accident on Mount Faito near Italy's Amalfi coast on Thursday, while 1 person was injured. 16 people in a car closer to the bottom were lowered to safety, while others in higher cars are still missing. Rescue operations at an altitude of about 1,200 meters have been complicated by bad weather and fog, which are hampering communications. The cable car accident happened just 1 week after the destination reopened for the season.
Russia's Supreme Court has suspended its ban on the Taliban, paving the way for Moscow to normalize ties with Afghanistan's leadership. The move is a diplomatic victory for the Taliban, who were put on Russia's list of terrorist organizations in 2003, making contact with them punishable under law. However, Taliban delegations have often attended forums hosted by Russia as Moscow looks to position itself as a regional power broker. When the group seized power in 2021, it had promised a more moderate rule, but began to enforce restrictions on women and girls soon after, isolating themselves on the world stage. Russian officials have recently been emphasizing the need to engage with the Taliban in order to stabilize Afghanistan, while enabling Moscow to better protect its interests in the region.
Thousands of people gathered in the Vatican's St. Peter's Basilica to witness the opening Easter week Chrism Mass on Holy Thursday. Pope Francis, who is still recovering from pneumonia, did not participate in the ceremony. However, he is expected to make some appearances. He was replaced by Cardinal Domenico Calgagno, the retired head of the Vatican's Patrimony Office. The crowd included over 1,000 priests. Over in Jerusalem, Christian Orthodox worshippers gathered at the Holy Sepulchre on Thursday. The traditional washing of the feet ceremony marks the start of Orthodox Easter. The Holy Sepulchre is the site where Christians believe Jesus was entombed and then resurrected.
Astronomers have found possible chemical signs of life on a distant planet outside our solar system. The research, led by scientists at the University of Cambridge, detected evidence of compounds in the exoplanet's atmosphere that on Earth are only produced by living organisms. They say it's the strongest sign to date of possible biological activity outside the solar system, but cautioned more work is needed to confirm their findings. The researchers found the evidence by analyzing data from NASA and the European Space Agency's James Webb Space Telescope.